normalize. You have a lot of different things you can do here. You can also ADSNR, so you can choose your attack time, you can choose release time of the sample, and a lot more. Pitch range is very nice to have here as well. You can also automate all of these things here, so you can choose the pitch range to go to, let's say, to 12, which is an octave, and then you can automate the pitch, let's say from here to here, and you will have 2 octaves that you can pitch up, for instance. So you can create a riser by that. So you can be very creative with these things that FL Studio has. You can also choose the root node. So here you have the root node set to C5, but you can click, let's say, right click here, and you can also choose the zone here. So you can choose how many keys you want the sound to be affecting. So I can now only play from C3 to, let's say, B7 here, as I chose. You can fine tune the different root nodes as well. So yeah, you can do that as well, but this is a drum loop, so I'll just leave it like it is. And now, as soon as I created a new channel, we'll go to the channel rack here, and you see we have that sample. I just imported twice, so I can delete one of those. Okay, so now we have this drum loop here in the channel rack. So what we can do here is to place the samples here, but since this is a drum loop, I don't want to do that. It goes from the channel rack, goes to the playlist here, then to the mixer, out to the master channel, and that is what you hear through your speakers. So let's go back and create a pattern. So I'm going to close these windows here. Let's see, let's do it like that. And the channel rack and that one as well. Let's go to the channel rack, and I also want the playlist to be like this. So as you can see, as soon as I put the playlist, the channel rack disappears in the background. So I have to click to get back to it. And as soon as I work with something in the playlist, it disappears. So what we can do by that is to go to this drop-down menu in the channel rack and just choose detached, like this, and now it will stay here, so I don't have to worry about this disappearing all the time. Otherwise, you can just click here to make it disappear and to make it go back. All right, so let's import a sound that we want to have in our project. So every time we load up FL Studio with a new project, you will always get the kick, clap, hat, and snare loaded up as per default. So what we can do here is to go to packs. Let's say here we have different sounds that comes with FL Studio, and I want some drums. So let's say I want a kick drum here. I can click to preview them like that. So let's say that we want 808 kick, and just take from here and drag it onto this space here. That will create a new channel for us with this sample loaded up. Some different instruments. So let's say we want an instrument here. I want a guitar, let's say a classical acoustic guitar, and I can just choose one of these and just drag them in like that as well. So if I click on one of these instruments here, or these samples that we have in this project, we get this little window that I talked about briefly previously, and this is the wrapper, as they call it in FL Studio. I can preview the sound by clicking here, as you can hear, and yeah, as I showed before, we can do different stuff, ADSNR and stuff. So that is very nice to have, and you just click on the sound to get the respective wrapper of that sound. More stuff in the channel rack. So as you can see, I have these little dial buttons that you can choose the pan here for all of the different instruments that we have, and the volume here as well. And if we open up the wrapper, you can see that if I choose the volume here, it's linked to the wrapper here as well, like that. Then we have this little dialog box here that is the number for the mixer track that we want to have. So if we open up the mixer, you will see all of these channels that we have in the mixer. So let's say that I want the kick drum to be assigned to channel 10. Then you go and do it like that, and you will also see that this selected instrument here is actually linked or selected here in the mixer as well. You can browse through them like that. You can also go and right click here and choose copy value. You can also do that as well in a lot of different things in FL Studio, that instead of just browsing through like that, you can just right click it, and then we will always go and get this little menu here as well. And they are very handy. You can link to controller to automate stuff, but just for the basic stuff right now, you can copy and paste values, for instance. So let's say that we want to copy this value here and we want the same value in this one. You can just paste the value and you will get exactly the same thing. You can do that with knobs. Let's say you can do that with copy value here, and you can paste the value here, for instance. So that is very handy to have there. And yeah, as I said before, you can browse around them like that. You can also type in values. So let's say we want them to be assigned to mixer track 20. Let's just do it like that as well. All right, so let's create an actual pattern here. So I'm going to close these windows here, and as you can see, I'm on pattern 3 here because we did a test pattern before. But let's go to the plus sign here, and we have the pattern 2 name. So let's create our first track. I'm going to do a kick drum here. I'm going to choose a color, so let's choose that color for now, and just confirm that. And yeah, we have the kick here, and I'm going to change the color of this kick drum as well to the same color, or kind of the same, just so I know that the kick drum in the channel rack is linked to the kick drum in the playlist. Or program the kick pattern in the step sequencer here. So let's do that. You can just click or left click the notes that you want to have in the channel rack. You can also delete them by just right clicking on them like that. You can also drag all of these like that. You can drag it with the right click to get rid of them. So let's program a basic 1/4 kick drum pattern here, and let's just play it. And there is our pattern. So now we have a pattern here, and you can drag it out to the playlist like that, and you can listen to the arrangement with this pattern here. So that is how you create a pattern in FL Studio. It's very easy to do that. Play this pattern here and just go to the mixer. You will see that since we chose this kick drum sample to be linked to the channel track 20 here in the mixer, you will see that the audio output will come out through the mixer track number 20. And now I think you will see the difference between the pattern